Do you guys know who Nichelle Nichols is?
Not by no Michelle My Belle.
Who is Michelle My Belle?
That's not a made up name?
Michelle My Belle.
Who's that?
Dong ding dong ding ding dong ding dong ding.
What the hell?
Beatles.
I think he's singing a song. Are you singing the song?
Beatles.
Michelle, my email.
One more time, Joe. Bing bong, ding dong, ding.
And then it just became ching dong, ling long, ting
Ding
dong.
dong, ding dong, ding ding dong.
You got
I
that?
love you, I love you, I love.
Oh, that song. Okay.
You're supposed to know it.
Dong ling long bing bong.
Okay, this has nothing to do with that. Nichelle Nichols, who broke barriers for black women in Hollywood when she played Lieutenant Uhura on the original Star Trek TV series, has died at the age of 89.
Wait, her name was Lieutenant Uhura?
Uhura, yeah.
You don't know Star Trek?
No, remember Uhura?
Uhura?
Yeah.
Also played by Zoe Saldana
Yeah,
in the
and
most
the new
recent
one.
Star Trek.
The reboot.
It just sounds like a funny name.
Are you a Star Trek fan?
I am.
Both of you guys?
Not really the TV shows. I watched some because I had to because there was nothing else on TV during that time.
Nice. What a fan.
I was randomly one of those like I'd rather Star Wars type shit. But the new Star Trek movies were sick as
They were
fuck.
sick.
Was she in Next Generation or was she in?
She was in the OG.
Oh wow.
The Next Enterprise? Is that what it's called?
with Patrick? I was too stupid to understand.
The original series. TOS is what they call it now.
Star Trek, the most boring show on the planet.
No, fuck you, Bart.
It's a good show, dude.
How old were you guys? Because I think we're older,
We're older.
right? But then like
But she was part of pop. She was part of pop culture, right?
You guys always say you're older like you're fucking from 14th century.
No, but
You
those
guys need to fucking chill.
those critical years though, like it made me not get into Dragon Ball, Pokemon, or like.
That's because you're a loser and you were into loser
Because
stuff.
you were robbing houses.
Yeah, you were just doing dumb shit.
So my point is, I was older, but I didn't understand Star Trek the way that you guys did because I was fucking dumb, bro.
Yeah, see, that's a different excuse. It's not like I was born.
No, that's
before
because I'm
Christ,
dumb.
Therefore,
Star Trek is entertaining though. You just have to.
I was honestly, I was too dumb to understand.
Wait, so that's what my question is. When did you get into Star Trek? Because when I was a kid, I was like, these guys talk too much.
Yeah.
When are they
Yeah.
gonna fucking like go to space and
So
do
it depends on what your entry was. So my father was big on Star Trek: The Next Generation. So that was
That
my
one.
first. That was the '90s, right?
that's different. See, he has a dad who like understands English and stuff, so that's why there's
That's
an easier way to
So,
get into it.
so like Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard, like all that.
Oh,
stuff.
that one. That was a really boring
Hey,
one.
the bald guy.
Boring one ever. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, great, thanks, Bart. So Nichelle was part of the original series, which came before Next Generation, right? So Next Generation was like the next iteration because they did like 6 movies with the original series cast, like 20, like
Is that with
20 years, yeah, with Shatner. For 20 years after the original series aired, which was like 1966 to 1969. And then they did like 20 years of movies. And then they rebooted it with the Next Generation. They did movies with those cats, right? And they actually blended the two. They did a movie called Generations, which is like Captain Kirk, Shatner, and like Patrick Stewart.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Hey, well, if you want to sneeze at this, the whole point of what I'm trying to explain to you guys is the actual impact that Nichelle Nichols had on pop culture, because she was a black woman in the 1960s who was depicting a science officer, or I'm sorry, a communications officer on the Enterprise. right?
Oh, that was like, oh, she's black and she's a woman and she's doing science.
Well, no,
like it was like a big.
Well, it was a lot of things, right? So one of the biggest things that she did as a first was she wasn't in need of anybody on TV, right? She wasn't like anybody's like housemaid or anything like that.
Okay.
A lot
Yeah.
of the time, she was like a part of the ship. She was part of the crew. She was on the bridge, which was like a big deal. Like if you're on the bridge, like you're
She was like an
essential.
equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
she
awesome.
kisses Captain Kirk in an episode that they aired, which was the first interracial on-screen kiss for television.
Really?
What?
Yeah. So So her and Shatner kissed
So this was in the 60s?
in the 60s.
Because I think interracial marriage was still illegal till the 60s.
And he knows because he was looking at vintage porn at the time.
He was looking for interracial
Isn't that the Japanese guy on this one too? The gay guy? He's really famous.
Yeah, you're talking about Sulu. Yeah. You're talking about the
George Takai.
George Takai. It's the same era.
Yeah. But Leonard Nimoy's on the show.
Okay.
The OGs.
Okay.
Well, one of the coolest things about this, right? So you know, she did that scene with Shatner, and the network, or they were like, hey, can we do one with the kiss and one without the kiss,
Just in case.
And then she wrote in her book, she was like, we both just fucked up on the other takes, so that they had to use the kiss.
On purpose?
Yeah, on purpose.
That's tight.
Yeah, because they wanted that to be out there.
So
How do you fuck up on a take where you're not supposed to kiss?
No, they were given dialogue and they kept on fucking it up. On
That's
purpose.
tight.
Beep boop bleep bleep
Yeah.
boop ching chong wing tong.
Oh, we can't use that. Actually, we can't use that.
That's probably what it was. So yeah,
Michelle, my bell, bing bong, bing 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 bong.
Michelle.
no, that's not the line.
so she was, you know, she was a big part of. I mean, Star Trek doesn't exist like as we all know it without her being involved, because like Uhura was a huge mainstay.
Huge character.
Show. She got kind of, you know, sidebarred a lot in the movies, because in the movies they did all kinds of.
Well, they only had a limited amount of time to
Yeah.
push the plot too.
For sure, but she remembers a moment. So she had done like one season of Star Trek, right? This is in '66, and she remembers she was going to quit the show. She was like, "Yeah, I'm an actress. I just want to do a bunch of different stuff. I don't want to get typecast and pigeonholed into one part, right?" And then she's at a party with Martin Luther King Jr.
No way.
Whoa.
and he was a big fan of her, of Star Trek, and
Wow.
big fan of like what it said, right? Because what you fuckheads don't know about Star Trek, and you guys are like, oh, it's so dialogue heavy, so boring. It was trying to show a version of us where race doesn't matter, and like we're all in the future, and all that stuff is just melted away, and we're all focused on progressing mankind.
I got that from Beverly Hillbillies. You don't like Beverly
How
Hillbillies?
did you do that?
Dude, that girl was so hot. How did you do that?
Bart has future tech.
It was at the same time.
I don't know what you're talking about, how you got there, but
You never watched Beverly Hills?
You saw diversity in Beverly Hillbillies?
Well, it's all black and white, so I couldn't tell.
he's like, they're hillbillies, but they live in Hollywood. That's how I got there. No, so Martin Luther King was like, hey, she told him, I'm not going to return for a second season. And he was like, he was like, you cannot do that. You have to.
Oh, wow.
He's like, you changed the face of TV forever, and that's why, and therefore you've changed the minds of people in the culture. Wow. He's like, you cannot leave. And she said that was a lightning bolt in her life, and it made her stay. And that like propelled her career. So like she was on that series for like the next 4 years, and then she ended up doing all the movies, and like it just became more normal, right? And that was what was cool about it.
Is that why people on screen is so important to, like, I guess the general, like, conception or perspective of the world? Like, because like for me, because like in
culture.
because for me it's like what is more important to me is what I see in real life, right? So like let's say like leading man, Asian dude with like, I don't know, white chick or something. It seems so crazy to see that on screen, right? But then for me, I'm like, what do you mean? I've seen a lot of my friends are in interracial relationships, so I'm like, to me, that's not a big deal. But it feels like when they see that on screen, then it's like finally stamped in or something.
Well, at the time,
Most people, I think.
interracial relationships were illegal. Not only illegal, but shunned upon.
Yeah.
So then when they do it on screen, no one's really seen it in real life.
Also, at the risk of complimenting you, you're like a needle mover, whereas a lot of people.
Why risk? Why risk?
Because I just don't like to do that. Like in terms of like you're an influencer, so you're already doing things, or you're around people that are influencing others, whereas other people who don't influence, other people who get influenced, they do need those things. They do need to see those things in order to validate or affirm like their own existence in the space. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
Yeah, that's like in the beginning, people will be like, oh my God, but why are you so buff? And it's like, man, you small compared to these other Asian guys now. Because it was a trend set to be a fit, big
little
Asian guy. Because a lot of people didn't believe that can happen.
Yeah, for real.
One of the craziest things about this too, I don't know about the illegal thing. I literally don't know.
I think interracial was illegal till the 60s.
But
yeah.
But Lucille Ball and Ricky Ricardo didn't create this?
huh?
Lucy and Ricky?
It was,
yeah.
it was a weird gray area because
He's not black.
when they say interracial, I think they
mean
really
black.
mean black.
1951, they did predate this for sure.
But then that was different because it's Cuban and white.
But we also do this thing too, where we like just completely write off a whole like timeline as like they were all this way. But like there was like people expected that there would be backlash for this, but the Star Trek creators said they never got more mail, and it was all positive. Like at the time when they were the Generation Kids, they said they never got more mail in their life, and that was like America, right? They were all like being like, "Yo, this is amazing that you guys did this." So
That's rad.
That's really cool.
but that's part of the thing about Star Trek that I love about Star Trek is that it always is future forward. It's always looking at like where we could be, and like it melts away all the bullshit that we all do about each other, like the suppositions and all the like, oh, I think about you this, and the stereotype about you is this, and all this shit.
That's cool. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I never knew Star Trek was like that forward thinking or like that intentional with all the people that they had.
That was the thing about Gene Roddenberry at the time, which was awesome.
Dunking on Star Trek.
Well, it's because Beverly Hillbillies is hard to compare to.
Oh, she was so hot.
Imagine if they just didn't get letters because all the haters are like, man, if I could write and read, I'd be sending a pretty angry letter.
They couldn't write or read.
That makes me want to watch Star Trek.
I like Gilligan's Island too.
Oh, that was such a fucking groundbreaking
That was my
show.
Star Trek.